Clapstacks are everywhere. Let's check out what they're about and what you can do with them. Clapstacks, or in this instance, the Zultan Slap Clap, are everywhere today. You find them in setups of all sorts of drummers, from house, R&B, hip-hop drummers, all the way to rock or even jazz guys. Now, what are they all about? First of all, clapstacks, just as the name says, no matter if they're called slap clap, clapstack, or whatever, they're made to mimic a hand clap sound. Now, why is this useful? If you don't have a clapstack and you want to play clap sounds, you need to bring a sample pad or some sort of electronics. And for decades now, we use rim clicks to mimic snap sounds, or this version of a rim click to mimic clap sounds. But now if we have an instrument that's just made to mimic a clap sound, you can just leave the sample pad at home and just use the clapstack. Let me give you a small idea of the snap, clap, clapstack sounds combined. Now, the most obvious idea for a clapstack would be to use it in electronic music, to mimic an electronic clap sound. But obviously you can do all sorts of things with that. And first of all, you can play grooves where it's your backbeat. This works especially well in more laid-back things. Then you could use it to layer it on top of a snare. This just adds some texture to your snare sound. Or obviously you can use it as an auxiliary hi-hat, for example. But those are the most common situations where you'd use a clapstack. Now, just for those purposes, it's definitely worth getting one. But now let's check out what this clapstack is made of. And basically, it's a stack made of 3 individual cymbals. And they're all basically just flat cymbals. In this instance, they're also called 12-inch flat, which are bent to an extent so that they work perfectly on top of each other and give this very dry clap sound. So if you compare it to other stacks usually are more in the high frequency range, made to cut through. This one is really muddy, just to fit in nicely and just give some texture. That's also why you kind of always need to put a microphone, because otherwise you won't hear it. So before we try some different combinations of the cymbals, let's give them a listen one by one. Now, they don't sound really what you'd call nice by itself, but let me give you an example of how you could use this sound in a drum kit context. So if you're into experimental sounds and look for some sound colors to add, why not check out this one? Now, the clapstack also changes the sound if you combine the 3 layers in a different manner, or just use 2, or use them in a different order. Let me give you an example. This was the usual order, largest underneath, up to smallest. Now, Let's just invert it. Sounds a little more dull, but this could be something that might work well in a context where the other one didn't. Now, to close the whole thing off, I think you got an idea of what the clapstack is all about. But to finish it off, here's some ideas what you can do with the individual cymbals if you use them in a different way. First up, I'll take the top cymbal inside the hi-hat to add some trashiness. Then I'll take the largest one and stack it on top of this one. And then for the last one, I'll just add a sizzle chain and a tambourine. Let me show you what those three things sound like. Now, not all of these sounds might be some that you would want to use in your setup, but this was just to show you what you can do with the individual cymbals of a clapstack. When it comes to stacking cymbals, there's no limits and there's no rules, so just try out things and maybe you'll find something you really like. Now, what ideas do you have? What stacks have you come up with the clapstack cymbals, and what's your favorite scenario to use clapstacks in? Let us know in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.